Welcome back, Gemini. We are here to do your 2020 read for January. Those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. Those of you who are returning, welcome back, guys. Okay, now I've got the chart in front of me as to what you guys are going to experience around the time of the eclipse, and I'll try and make brief mention of it, as well as any transformations happening in the astrology. I do cover it. I cover the moon energy, as well as astrology updates, energy updates, twin flame path, and your general reads per month. Now, as I become more organized, I will be connecting more general reads during the month. This does cover love as well, but considering we're moving into 2020, I wanted to cover all areas as well as your romance house. Now, I have pulled a crystal as to what can actually assist you, and potentially some of the things in January that are coming up. I do feel you guys are going through a semi-break, and I do feel that you guys have actually worked very hard in 2019. Now, the nodal energy in March is changing. So a lot of your energy is going to be relating to communication, small journeys, movement. It's also 12th house activation with Uranus for you guys. So spiritually speaking, as it goes direct, it will change, okay? But you're going to need to keep as grounded as possible. Now, I have mentioned amethyst, tourmaline, and black onyx would be perfect, as well as some chakra crystals. Gauge and document, you know, how you use the crystals and what effects they're having. You can definitely use bath salts for healing and detoxifying your environment. A black candle during this time for negativity can really assist. But a lot of times you just meditate where you're feeling unhinged and ungrounded. And especially with the conjunction happening with Saturn and Pluto, that really is hitting in with your 8th house. Now, with this Cancer eclipse, now the 8th house, I'll mention the 8th house, and it's to do with endings. It's very Plutonian energy, life, death, money, legacies, your ability to bounce back, which is really quite Pluto. It's like, okay, come and get this off the ground. Is this going to be balanced? Stepping up to that energy with the Capricorn is like taking the bull by the horns and looking at it and seeing where you can directly take accountability and responsibility. Doesn't always have to be on your side of the fence, but it's what you physically can do to change the environment that directly is impacting you with those domains. Now, being that the eclipse is in Cancer, it is falling in your 2nd house, which is to do with all the external environment. And it's interesting because it's more the abundant aspect of things, especially with the Uranus and Taurus. Your spirituality versus your finances. So a lot of balancing going on in 2020 for you guys. And your crystal that you've got is green tourmaline. Now, abundance and prosperity are an infinite supply. I'm grateful for the blessings in my life. Now, it doesn't have to be that you're financially abundant. It can be that you're emotionally abundant. But it's balancing and anchoring that energy and doing things. It may be energetically you were all work, no play last year. And this energy is really bringing it back to communication, bringing it back to, you know, being able to multitask and do various things. But even with your first place coming through with the card in your financial domain, I do feel you guys have worked quite hard. This can be ascension symptoms coming through, you know, where you're physically fatigued. Hasn't killed you, but you're physically fatigued. You worked really hard. Now, this could even be just in the month of January. So pace yourself when it does come to your environment of your abundance. You could be assessing what you're doing with your cash component, looking at what you're investing in. Not that it's ending, it's just changing. So it can be a change in those dynamics and areas. Now, when it does come to employment, it can be a contracting question that you're looking at because you've got the Lovers, and providing you're doing what you love, you'll see the falseness in situations, what you need to rectify, what you need to change. With your ruler being Mercury, when the nodes do change, and the art of communication and technology is going to be crucial for you. So some of you guys might be seeing some flaws in a plan, especially with the Pluto energy coming through, and having to look at it and see what you need to change and what you need to rejig. Meditation is the key with this situation, and I feel if you can actually meditate on these areas of the truth within contracts, where the value is in the situation, where it's taking away from you, I feel this is really going to benefit you. Now, Aries in Chiron for you guys is in your 11th house. Now, that is to do with your friends, clubs, associates, and aspirations. So being that it's in your 11th house, it could be, especially with tribe mentality and your employment and the people you're linking in with, if you're working with a group, It can be that wounds can come up of that nature, of, you know, is this your divine path? Are you invested in the situation? What are your hopes and goals? Have they transferred? Are you standing in your way in some shape or form? And that's really a question 2020 is going to ask us, and we're fine-tuning that and trying to bring the growth and the balance into those situations. The green is a lot of heart chakra activation. But it's also choosing what you want to abundantly invest in. I do feel the last 3 years you guys have gone through a deep transformative cycle, and even when it does come to your tribe, you know, having to be really strong for these individuals, and many things at times potentially not working, and this can come up during the Cancer eclipse. Even though at a financial level, and, you know, people could be coming to you for finances quite a bit, and that could have really hindered you in 2019. It might be that they're coming to you for advice, for information, for guidance, and it's depleted you, and you're really needing to get as grounded as possible. It's all fine and dandy to be strong, but it's you know, what is working for you and what isn't, and how are you going to re-navigate that situation. You may be called upon to be strong for another individual, but maybe it might not work, okay? And I'm going to pull another card on that. Pull an animal totem. What is this energy? Can be to do with a Leo in the family, or something that is changing. Okay, you will get there, but it's going to take some time. So if you are discussing something with family, and family triggers are coming up to do with assets and finances and goods, it could be, you know, especially in the house, the 8th house, with that being activated with Pluto. It can be an aftermath of, like, dissolving assets, moving them around, sharing them. You know, really you looking at your life of where you're going forward and what you want to leave in a sense of a legacy, and how you want to change it up so you can have this abundance, and, you know, what that means to you. Whether it be really disconnecting, because especially in a spiritual path with Uranus and Taurus for you, it's your 12th house. Are the things that you're doing directly impacting you, and what's occurring in your subconscious mind? So really pay attention to Uranus and Taurus in the 12th house this year, and especially do really look at Chiron in your 11th house, where it does fall into the people that you're dealing with, you know, your hopes and dreams, your pastimes, and your associates, the people you're linking in with, because those things can really change. Now, your 2nd house, a family-related domain, a situation can come up, and obviously the tribe, providing you're strong, and know that you can tame any situation. Even if it's not working, it's going to come up, but know that it is going to transform, and this situation is going to balance out. So I feel you are going to be able to handle this energy. Most of the zodiac signs that will feel the energy, and I do feel still in a residue sense in some place, obviously, because Cancer is your 2nd house, it's going to directly affect you, but you will find, because the nodes are going to change in March, some of that frequency is going to be playing out as well, and we will have eclipses during the year, both in Gemini and Sagittarius. Now, with the love domain, and I have got the romance house further down, but the overall energy, you know, really looking at things, not being sad, but being quite honest with yourself about what you're unsure about, and just being really okay in the moment. And that could be due to a family-related dynamic playing out, either with you on your side of the family, or shifts in energy, shifts in home going on. The Cancer energy can actually denote shifts and changes in home-related vibrations with feminine energies, and especially with the 4 of Swords, to do with this year, you know, try and keep yourself grounded, because you are looking like you're working very hard. There is going to be a lot of work ahead for you guys for the next 2 years. It's not to say that you're not achieving things, and it is looking really positive, but you do need to pace yourself and pay close attention to your fatigue and people that potentially could actually be taking from you at an emotional, physical level. Now, with your hopes and dreams, 2 cards come out. It's the Star in reverse and the Wheel in reverse. And I do feel this is quite linking in with the next cards, which I'll look at in a moment. Assessing these areas of what is blocking you. And that can be anything to do with your mindset of luck and the aspect of luck. It can also be you feeling unwell and under the weather and wondering how you're going to balance all of these balls in the air. But you've got 2 cards in reverse. Now, These dreams, it's not saying they're not going to happen. It is saying, yes, you feel you've waited a very long time to achieve these things. But for you guys, it might feel it's taking forever. And you can be getting a little bit impatient. I'm also seeing a friendship moving. There's intelligence and crown chakra. You know intuitively it's going to come about, but it seems frustrating for you in the month of January. Could even be very close to the eclipse or with these people, but you're taking the patience, you're working through these things in your mind's eye. You're also looking at it from an external point of view in the bigger picture with the 5D. And you're learning a lot through the process, so it is benefiting you. You do need to go into hermit mode to reflect on this and not relate to it right away with this hope and dream and where the blocks are in the road. If it's something directly you can deal with, I feel you're going to have, if you make the time to tune into it, I do feel you're actually going to find a solution in the month of January. Now, the karmic frequency can be a lot of people around you manipulating you, needing on you, and you know, you're stepping out of that. You're stepping back and allowing them to be who they are. You're accepting of them, but you also see where they're coming from. It's almost like understanding the nagman in which they're operating from. And again, I am feeling as though if you can take that approach, it's really going to be quite healthy to assist you through this karmic purge. What you're not seeing come in is, you know, any people that are unstable, it might be you're detaching from them and you're trying to take the mature approach. You know energetically, potentially, if you do follow astrology, that this potentiality is there. So I feel you're resting, you've done a lot of work, I feel, from October onwards, and it's sort of like you're moving forward and you're tuning into other things. You're looking at the bigger picture, you're using your emotional intelligence, and you're detaching from these scenarios that you know you can't effectively resolve. And you do know it's a temporary energy, but potentially these people around you might be quite triggered, and you're looking at it going, look, I've been through this energy. I too have been where you've been, but you also know some of these things can only be learnt through experience. Now, in your romance house, your crowning energy you got is the devil. So this can be directly to do with the time frame of the eclipse. And I'm feeling almost the energy from the 25th, 26th of January 2017, moving over into the Cancer eclipse. And I do feel it's almost like tying out those loose ends. You know, some things have lagged over into January for you. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. And you're seeing the falseness and things, so it's like I feel you already have prepared, but it might be people are trying to warn you and suggest that you should do something a different way. But I do feel as long as you're looking at it from quite a detached point of view, I do feel you're also keeping your cards pretty close to your chest. Yeah, because like you're keeping it close to your chest, inside and reverse. So it's like, I'm not telling you what I'm doing. You know, don't stress about me. I see things for what they are. I see the falsity in this. But also with this energy being Capricorn frequency, it is very much to do with Saturn and Pluto conjunction, with the eclipse. And what's going on and how it's going down. Having the mindset that this is temporary. Having the mindset that where you have direct power, placing into situations and taking the bull by the horns and changing those things. Also with eclipses, you find that generally it can take 6 months for that energy to kind of cycle out. So the abundance factor is growing, but being in reverse, it's that, you know, you're waiting for your cookies to come in. Build it and they will come. Like you're choosing how you directly invest in people, places and things. And if in this connection you understand this situation's a process and you're looking at your side of the fence, you're also looking at this person's and what they potentially can do. I'm also hearing you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So you're not forcing it, you're accepting of it, and you're allowing this person to have their natural transformation, be it you're together or not. Now, you have moved through many mountains, but you're also choosing the road less traveled, and you've got mountain in reverse with fortune. You're walking towards and you're focusing on the things that make you happy. You're also focusing in this connection on the abundant factor, not the let's climb every mountain factor. So in a willingness situation, it may be that with this individual you did move many mountains and now you're thinking, I know that I am abundant inside and out. and that of the same is directly attracted towards you. So you're reflecting on the past where you didn't see your own personal value. You also might have been working quite hard where it didn't feel quite romantic in 2018, 2019. And now you're really ushering that energy in where you're wanting to have both energies. Now, yes, it has taken a while for this transformation with the dragonfly. Okay? Have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connect to spirit. Again, the 12th house activation is very much coming through. Where is it? With the things that you're wanting, but I feel this is more connected in with your assets and your things to that degree of how you need to transform and things coming at left field. As long as you're having spiritual time for yourself here and there to keep grounded, most of these lessons have been learnt, so this too shall pass. And it's not necessarily needing to change direction, it's changing the direct approach and pacing yourself for the abundant situation. Now, the key to it potentially might be outside of you. So you're trying to keep quite positive with that and understand that this is a process and that both energies at the moment are feeling completely fatigued. But this situation's not over, it's just evolving and changing. I do feel rest. I'm also feeling potentially a holiday. Yeah, a pause. Looking at the foundation and changing things. 3 cards, okay. Now, some of you, this could be a third-party situation, but it doesn't have to be. But if this is, for some of you, that, it's ending, okay? Because you've got solar plexus, emotions, and heart chakra all in reverse. So if it was a third-party situation, the healing connected to it now is being achieved. And between you, both of you, in your past inner child energy, are looking at the power and the lack of passion into certain roads that you had. And again, heart chakra in reverse and jade in reverse. So a huge assessment for you guys moving forward of what you're going to do. It's not over, okay? It's just changing and evolving because the spiritual connection is very tempting. You're wanting to be with this person, but you're also integrating your own energy and you are changing. So you might not be saying it. There may be, but you're having faith that even if it's not said, that, you know, that it's coming in, the communication will be coming in, or the communication will be balanced out, and the movement within the situation of your day-to-day life is going to balance out too. Now, past tense energy, they're looking at the way they invested and the lack of consistency. And it might have been to do with the situation playing out around you or within the given relationship connection. Now, the crowning energy, again, is green, which is heart chakra related. Having ascension symptoms, feeling like they need to trust more in their intuition. And guilt connected to a path they chose that potentially might have hurt them. Not talking about it yet, which the Mercury energies come through on your side, and I feel that's directly connected to you. Maybe holding these things inside, but not directly saying them. And at the same time, seeing it and looking back and seeing how they invested in scenarios or dealt with scenarios. And now not jumping in the deep end, you know, pacing themselves, making more room for this growth and for the movement within the connection, and being really inspired by the actions you've taken to follow you. Now, they have weathered a lot of storms, and they know in order to achieve this, they're going to have to, actually work through some obstacles. Now, weathering the challenges ahead will bring a new and positive future. Now, it's not where they're unwell. It's where they're taking the challenge to communicate their truth. They're being authentic and honest. This can even be to do with their foundation, their finances, their family, and something that isn't working. So this could also be a person who is in a karmic situation. So if this person, and this could be a separate message, if this person is in a karmic situation, they can even be with you. Third party energy, because I was saying 3 cards, they jumped out. It can be their work, it can be a family member. The nodes in Cancer coming through in the eclipse is the tribe mentality and the connection and the emotion involved, right? Having faith that by communicating their truth with the correct individuals in their life and being authentic in their own frequency, it's going to help them proceed forward. And it's going to make them more in their Capricorn energy of being able to take accountability. This is whether a masculine or feminine. Having that king or queen energy where they're stepping up and they're taking the power back in their life. Because they can't, in this old way of doing things, they just can't see how they were doing it for so long, quite frankly. Yeah, new home, new environment. This can be a physical move, especially since they've got base chakra in reverse. This was potentially something that come up in December, okay? And now it's coming up again. It's like, you know, reversing a truck, you do it the opposite. Now they're looking at it, right, and they're saying, I want this, but this is what I got. So, and the reason I suggest that this can be Christmas, look at the bonbons and the fairy lights in the tree. What additional messages do I want to give you? Okay. Yeah, another three of coins. Right. The reason I'm tuning into the threes, I get my messages uniquely. So on this occasion, they're saying third-party energy. This can be work. This can be a family member. It can be working too much, not having enough time for love. However this goes, they've learned a very important lesson looking at the past. Now, they are wanting to step into that night energy and really work. Take the Capricorn energy, which is what, being responsible, being accountable, and looking at it and nurturing the situation. Really wanting a fresh start, but this could also be with the Libra. But again, I'm not honing in on the energies of zodiac signs. I mean, there's various ones on the page. Just really looking at and making a judgment because a change is coming. But the change is actually a very positive thing. So whatever you guys decide you're doing, be it you're in the connection, this transformation that's going on inside the connection, I do feel on their side of the fence, their intent is to change this situation. Your intent is to choose directly how that's going to be. And with whom it is going to be with. But I do feel if you directly are tuning into a romantic interest, the heaviest, this is the person it's relating to. Love and light.